everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this message came through as everything is not what it seems, and the like song or the phrase coming through, it was from Wizards of Waverly Place, because that's like the theme song. I never really watched that show, but if you have a connection to it, that could be a special message for you. But I looked up the lyrics, and I'll tell you, I'm going to read out the ones that were standing out to me. So it says, well, you know, everything's going to be a breeze, and the end will no doubt justify the means. You can fix any problem with the slightest of ease. And then the part where it says, everything is not what it seems. When you can get all you wanted in your wildest dreams, you might run into trouble if you go to extremes, because everything is not what it seems. And then the next part, it says, be careful not to mess with the balance of things, because everything is not what it seems. So the channel coming through with that, and if you feel called to look those lyrics up, and maybe you'll find something else in there, but the channel coming through was just that, is that everything is not what it seems. And there's this, you could think of it like a cloud of deception or distortion, and not in any negative way, like there's this force trying to trick you, or it's not like that. It's just similar to at night. At nighttime, it's harder to see certain things, and maybe your eyes play tricks on you, and it doesn't mean that there's something bad or wrong or against you or trying to like deceive you. It's just the way things are being perceived at that time is different. Okay, anyway, let me get into the message. So again, everything is not what it seems. Right now, you're noticing certain triggers coming up. Triggers for things that you feel like you've already outgrown, or you know that you're currently in the process of like completely leaving behind. So these triggers are on purpose, because this is, you could think of it like a test. If you don't like thinking of things like a test, then don't. But if you do like that perspective, or it helps you understand something, then you can. And also 222 coming through, if that has been coming out to you, that could be extra confirmation of like this is the next step or the next checkpoint in your story. So 242 could be coming up, and you could look up 242, the meaning of that. Actually, I will do that real quick. Hang on. Okay, so this source says it's an overall message that it's your angels supporting you as you work to achieve your goals. It's encouraging you to be practical, have a positive outlook, and trust that your efforts will pay off. 303 also could be. And okay, so that part, trust that your efforts will pay off, and pay attention to your relationships and ensure they're balanced and harmonious. Going back to the lyrics, it talks about be careful not to mess with the balance of things, and also you might get in trouble if you go to extremes. And then the part about the end will no doubt justify the means. And then 242 here means the trust that your efforts will pay off. So again, it's this theme of like, if you want to think of a test, you're being tested right now with these triggers. Like, are they going to remain balanced? Is that going to be the number one, like, is that your number one priority, staying balanced or giving into these triggers? And so if all you really have to do is continue to stay balanced. Don't mess with the balance of things. Don't go to extremes, okay? And these triggers are tempting you to do that. They're things that they're very surface level, but it's like it triggers you anyway. Like, it's not like to someone else, they may be like, I don't get the big deal. Like, it's not what's so important or special about that. But like to you, it's personal, so the triggers more. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to worry like, oh no, everything's about to go wrong with these triggers. It's more just like you see something or you hear something, and that's what triggers you. But it's not a full thing. It's just, again, about the reaction it's causing within you. You're not being asked to not get triggered, because you can't really control that. But you're being asked, are you going to give in to that? Are you going to let that trigger throw you off balance? Is it going to be more important? Because right now, what you can do to pass this test, to ace it, is to make balance your priority. That will get you through this chaotic time, and up to the partial solar eclipse on the 21st, which is Sunday. Or if you're watching anytime around then, even if it's after, I feel like if you, because this is a timeless message, but if you're watching around when I post, then leading up to this eclipse, I feel like from the last one, which was September 7th, the lunar eclipse, leading up to this one, it's like you've been tested, you've been given these triggers, and it's like feedback, like how are they going to handle it? Are they going to remain balanced? Are they going to let this throw them off their path? Or are they going to keep focused and just brush it off like it's nothing? And I think you knew what to do, but because the triggers were so intense, it could have thrown you off. So this is just coming through as your confirmation and clarity that yes, these are tests, and yes, you're meant to stay balanced regardless of what's trying to pull at your energy. Like, don't give it any peace of mind. Think of those soldiers in England, like the ones who they have to be very still and they can't like make an expression or anything. And maybe people will, they're, you know, everything's going on around them. People want pictures. Maybe some people are rude. Who knows what could happen? But they're just like still, like they keep their balance. They keep their center. They're not letting their surroundings affect them. They're holding their place. So that's kind of like what you're being asked to do. Or another example is like if you're a teacher and you have a class of like wild, crazy kids, you have to be that calm center. You can't let them throw you off and like stress you out, because that's just going to happen every day. About being stronger, being the lighthouse, being the tower, the center of gravity that everything else is absorbing around and moving around. And even in the chaos, it's like you're just staying put. Like there could be a whole tornado going on, but you're unshakable. And that's what you're being guided to do right now. And don't worry if you feel wobbly, if you feel like, well, man, I've already been giving into the triggers, or I've already been thrown off. It doesn't matter, because all that matters is this now moment. If you can be balanced right now, that's all, then you're acing it. Don't be like, oh, I probably already failed. It's not too late. If you're watching this and if you're feeling this, it's not too late. You're still in it. You're still being given these chances. So, like I was saying, leading up to this solar eclipse on Sunday, it feels like it's a gateway, and you are, let's say it's a really tiny opening, and like, okay, you know, I don't even know what this is called, but I'm seeing these like these walls with a cutout of a person. Like, let's say one is a person holding their hand up, and so the person has to fit and like make that exact same shape in order to fit through, if you can imagine what I'm saying. And like then another one comes and they have to go in that position and fit their body exactly through. So there's something about like you needing to be balanced, like you're almost on this tightrope and you're like leading to this doorway and this gate, and you can only go through if you're balanced. If you fall one way or the other, you're not going to make it through this. But this isn't like to worry you or be like, you better get this right or you'll never get through. If you're getting stressed out by this message, then maybe this message is triggering you and it's another test, along with what I'm saying. But the point is, this isn't supposed to stress you or trigger you. It's supposed to actually comfort you right now. So if you're taking it as a way of like putting more pressure on you, you're taking it the wrong way. So I feel like that's all for the channel message, but I want to pull some cards to see what will go along with this. So you're more about the everything is not as it seems. These triggers, they are not what they seem. It's like, I heard a joke. I wasn't meaning to say a joke, but maybe it is a joke, kind of like a prank or like a prank call. And like, imagine getting so worked up and serious about a prank call, and then you realize it was just a prank. And you're like, why did I get so upset? It was just a joke. I never needed to get upset. It wasn't real. So it's that like, whatever feels real, whatever feels permanent and is triggering you, like still this situation, still this thing coming up, still this energy, this is what is the illusion right now. This is what everything is not what it seems. That's what that's referring to. And so the triggers, that's another thing they're doing. They're tricking you into thinking, oh, this is true. This is your reality, but it's not. You've already you've already exited that. So what I'm seeing is, let's say your old reality was locusts or cicadas, and they've shed their shells, they're gone, but then someone like grabs the shells and is like wearing them and pretending that the locusts are still there, but they've already gone. It's just the shell of what's left over, like the echoes of the past. And if you believe them, you'll think the locusts are still there. But then if you trust that what you're seeing is not accurate, if it's bothering you, if you're being triggered, that is not the truth. That's a takeaway from this, is if you're being triggered, it is not the truth. So that should bring you comfort too. And when you feel a sense of peace, that is the truth. And you can really trust that inner knowing right now. And if some people are wondering if they can trust their gut or not, if you're someone who can trust their gut, you'll know it because you've always felt that. But if you're someone who you feel like you can't trust your gut, or like it hasn't always been correct, then your gut may not be your most accurate way of feeling things. You may feel it in a different way, but don't think you're not intuitive. Like, that's just how some people feel it. Some people feel it through their heart or through just a knowing that they don't even feel. It's just a knowing. So figure out your way, and don't think it has to be the same as someone else's, or that it doesn't work, or like yours isn't strong enough, or that you're not connected, because that's not true. That needed to be for someone. All right. So don't trust the triggers. They're not true. They're not real. It's just an act. It's just a play. It's just a performance. And also, don't trust the speed of things. If things feel slow, if things feel like they're going to take forever, that's another trick and that's another trap. Because again, does that feeling of things being slow stress you out? Does it overwhelm you? Does it trigger you? If yes, then it's not true for you. But on the other end, if something's moving slowly and you enjoy the pace and you're like, I'm glad that this isn't being rushed, I'm glad I can take my time, then that is your truth. So basically, what I'm saying again is go off of that feeling. So you're more imbalanced than you realize. All you have to do is just not let yourself be thrown off that balance. And if you are, just go back into balance. So don't worry if you are. Know what to give your attention to and what not to, because it's going to be made very clear to you right now. Like, the instant you think about something, you're going to know in that instant if it triggers you or if it's a peaceful thing. So trust that. I feel like the cards are pretty much just like relaying what I already said, but let's see. You can feel something about to happen, but because of these triggers and these illusions, you're like, but what if it never does? Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's in my head. Maybe I'm delusional. But again, you can't trust everything right now. There's a lot of illusions. And so, yes, this thing is happening. You are feeling it. You're not crazy. It's just, this is probably going to happen more closer to that portal of the solar eclipse or around it. 333s could be significant if I didn't already say that. You know, this is a time when you're receiving. You've already done the work to be open to receiving, and you're just going to continue to receive. Focus on that too. If you're not sure what to focus on what you've been receiving more of lately, and expect to receive even more, and in places that you're not even expecting. Like, expect the unexpected, but expect more and more positive and more abundance, and just focus on that. Keep that that law of assumption, knowing it's already coming and there's more of it. Like, you already have it, and even more is coming, and then even more is coming, and it's just going to increase. So that's all that's coming through for this message. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.